All right, everybody. 30-year anniversary or third anniversary for on December. A lot of new interesting changes. They have some zodiac updates. We have Act 14 and 15. If you haven't been around for a while, 14's already been there, but 15's new. It's mainly an arena act. Looks pretty cool. And in the next video, I'll kind of go over all the act and all the new stuff to the update, kind of the new items you're going to get and everything like that. And then in this video, I'm just going to quickly go over my build and some of the new changes I've seen to the Zodiac tree that I found pretty interesting. Just so that if anybody hasn't played the game for a while, or you're wondering if you should come back, or you're kind of bored of PoE 2 a little bit like I was, um, just jump in and check it out. It's really fun. And just to show people some of the new stuff, you jump on right now, pretty much got a first pay time event. Anytime you buy something, like if you need to buy some of the new stash tabs, you're going to get a new box for skins. They have the ash covered event. This is where you get to cover your cards in ash, which is just simple. You just pretty much identify, or you don't have to identify. You just grab a card, throw it in here, convert it, becomes ash. And I'll show you what that developer ash is all about here in a moment. And then one of the good reasons to kind of jump in is what are they offering for the event? Like what am I getting out of it? So if you see, you get the basic starter stuff to kind of get you along the way in the campaign. Then as you get further here, you're going to get a couple of really unique things. So the first one is unique. Not this one. It's there we go, 190. So 30-year anniversary, you're going to get to pick a really powerful item. If you get there, getting this Acumen's Punishment seems to be like the most popular item for most people right now. It's extremely powerful scepter. So you don't have to really craft a weapon for the season. You could use this all season. And then the one that people that play the game a lot, and if you've been playing every season, you'll know that this anniversary box is amazing. You're going to be able to have a choice of getting any of those really powerful, I would call them pretty much uber uniques that you didn't have access to or have been trying to get in just standard. So going through here, you get to pick any of these, and they're all really powerful. If you see, you can pick the maximization chance gloves. You got the Leo's quiver, which is what we're going for. All of these are just amazing items. You're gonna get to pick one of them, so might as well get on and guarantee yourself a chance to get something pretty cool. All right, new for the season, Falcon Hunter. New for the season, Falcon Hunter. So bow characters, maybe even other characters, you get a falcon that flies out every single time you use a movement skill, and they have all sorts of things to support this. Each ascendance tree has different movement skill upgrades, and then in this one, we're just using the extra projectiles, and I'm relying more on the chance on attack to launch the falcons out. Even though this mana regen doesn't help my build too much, it's still pretty powerful. I've noticed, and you get the projectile amp, pretty abundant too. Abundance. Let's see how that works. So shooting, and you see that I'm shooting a bunch of ogre arrows out. You also see these little extra projectiles. Those are the falcons. And they always fly out whenever you do a movement. See? The damage they do is pretty significant. If you see, they're hitting pretty hard there, and it's just the falcons right there doing the damage. So pretty good damage. Nice for anybody who's trying to get a single target skill, kind of like Ogre Arrow, and you want it to have a little bit extra clearing. Falcons are perfect for that. Okay, so as you see, Elementalist here. This is more for the spellcasters. Now there's a different ability for every single tree, so I'm just going to go over the ones I've spent a little bit of time with so far, but just kind of to bring you into the season. If you haven't played for a while, or you're debating if you wanted to, these are pretty awesome things that you can do. You see here, this is a character from last season. Got Firebirds going off, and the Blizzard. And you'll see those meteors flying from the sky and that giant AoE ice explosion that just happened. Those are from my Elementalist. So if you were able to get all of the elements on the tree, you're going to be cycling through and you're going to be just shooting down meteors, doing the poison. You're going to be having the ice nova fly out. Some pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff they added to the season. And then to give like a quick rundown, if anybody is kind of interested, each tree has something new. We're going to go over the minion stuff here soon. But if you look, they even have a tree for just reducing your HP, and they've significantly made it stronger. If you want to stay barrier, you could get a huge amount of amplification. Can't recover beyond 1% of your max HP. And then you got the damage amplification per lost HP and whatnot. And then to make this even more enticing for people, if you go into your compendium, there's all sorts of new abilities to kind of help out barrier. One of the interesting ones I was looking at more recently is this blacksmith ring. Take a look at that. You're going to get barrier regen per second upon charging barrier, which really helps with it coming back. Spell hit and everything, so you're getting damage on the ring. But the big things here is that you're going to turn Siphon Life into an ability to get barrier absorb. Something a lot of people have had a hard time getting is just how do I get my barrier back? And then you're going to get a massive amount of barrier on a ring. You get 450. Like, that's huge. It's almost like having a low, not really like the max level barrier chest, but like a lower level chest just on your ring. So pretty powerful stuff. All right, let's go over the build I'm using just real quick. Using Ogre arrow. And I've never really used the bow, so this is new bow building stuff for us, but it seems to make pretty easy sense. Where instead of using a trigger skill, doing a Shadow Archer with the attack speed and the chance to summon Shadow Archers as much as I want based off the chance here, 10%, instead of the guaranteed one. I just think this has the higher overall possibility of doing damage. Deadly Poison Verity, so that we can add Venom. And extract Poison Energy, because if you haven't used any of these new extracts for the specific energies, they all kind of do the same effect here, and it's crazy good. It adds so much. You're getting Venom, Blind Rate, and everything you want. I really enjoy it. All right. And then just like a quick, if you wanted to look over what we're doing there, this isn't a finished build, so don't want to go over too much about what we're doing here because a lot of it might change. But what I do enjoy a lot, since hardcore, I like to use Tenacious Regeneration. I really hate getting in a situation where I can't leech off a boss or there's just nothing on the screen when I'm taking damage. This saves you a lot from that. Eventually, we'll probably use it to cast on hit. Not sure yet. Little thing we're trying out is Illusion Hook with spell activation on hit to get our poison area down to a 2-second cast time. Got 3 uses of it, so it's pretty much up at all times. This interacts with our necklace in a great way, and that's why we're using that. And then kind of the basics. Shadow Provocations using many builds. I highly recommend it. You get the damage bonus, the armor amplification. And one thing about being an evasion build is you don't have armor as evasion in hardcore. Evasion's great, but eventually you're going to get hit, and you need to make sure that you're going to mitigate everything. So this helps a lot with that. Also, if you're wondering about what I'm probably going to awaken it as, I really like the vampire skin. We'll see about that, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing that vampire skin for recovering 10% of the damage taken when it's in effect. Here's some links that I'm using for Ogre Arrow, just to kind of give you an idea. Now, physical convert's definitely a thing you can do. And if you're going to do that, you can just move Poison Explosion to Blood Explosion. You're going to get the bleed effects. You're going to be able to do stun rate. And stun rate's great. That's one of the reasons to go physical, is so you can get that stun rate. For our seal, I'm using Seal of Condensed Elements for now. Most likely going to turn this into... Oh, is that favorite? Yeah, here probably going to turn this into the Rapid Seal. And then we'll run something, one other seal with it. I don't think we're going to go Seal of Striking. We're probably going to go some Speed Amplification or something. And then Trick Shot. I really like Trick Shot. Works really well. Eventually, we're going to link Trick Shot to our Shadow Provocation, so every time we're moving, this is just kind of going off. Or I might link Trick Shot to another one of our abilities. Not sure just yet with that, but it's been really nice. The max use counts, the max use count on it, really powerful. And you're going to knock back enemies. You get knocked back. You can attach all sorts of things to it. This is one of the only ones that you can attach the momentum to. That's why we use this. Momentum's really big. It's also the only skill that you can move and kind of do damage with that bows can use. So really great for us. Other than that, pretty basic bow setup. We got Poison Explosion to help with clearing and to keep our stacks up. And we got Illusion Arrow, which eventually I'm going to try to 6-link. And then link all sorts of things to it. Now, we're able to run all of these auras really easily and still use... let me go ahead and fix this real quick. Go ahead and keep all of our mana at maximum. Not really any kind of problem with the mana or anything like that. It's all helped with this neck. So you're getting resource cost dampening and then mana on every hit. And if you see, our Ogre went from being almost a couple hundred or 100 and something mana all the way down to 47. So we pretty much get all of our mana back on attack. It's very, very nice. Other items we have here, I have some of the starter gear. Decided to start with some of that and try it out for the season. It's been pretty cool. I highly recommend it if you're new to the game or if you're coming back as a veteran. There are step-up package you have to pay for, but really fun to use. You do transition out of it, as you see. I'm not really using anything else, but this is kind of a good example of like what you expect if you're going to do those packages. You get the hit rate, element resist, crit rate. It's kind of almost like having the Castor's Refraction. Might even be better, actually. Just a little bit less crit rate. All right. This is a ring I really enjoy. It's mainly the stats we're looking for here. Extra stats right here make it a lot easier to spec your character. And the overpower effect is very nice. Other than that, everything is pretty much just stuff that you're going to get out of a box that you're going to get while you're leveling. So you don't have to worry. Everybody's going to have this kind of gear. Spica's Regret is in pretty much every single... This is the double the zodiac stats. A lot of people are using this season. It's very nice. And as you see, you're going to get one. Anybody who's ever gotten boxes out of the Pirates knows that all of these uniques are gotten eventually. In fact, let's even grab one real quick just see if we get it. Oop, not that one. Purchase. Nope. Looks like we've got the bow, but it's in the pool, so most likely you're going to get that. All right, so that's kind of going over the gear and what we're doing. If anybody's interested in how the build works, it's still a build in the making, so we're not ready to completely kind of say that this is what we were going to do fully, but I do enjoy it so far. A lot of the gameplay, because we're so strong right now, is just throw Illusion Hook out and then jump over the top of stuff. So you get that trick shot which shoots behind you. So we run up, pull everything in, and then just jump behind it, and it's just dead. That, as you see, these falcons are doing massive amounts of damage. Right, they're 34 million. Like they just are hitting so hard, it's crazy. And every time you use a movement, falcons everywhere. Very nice, very nice. And it goes really well with the Ogre Arrow. And when you combine everything together, you're getting that poison area effect, and you're getting all the benefits of the new neck. And you can also hop around and just keep on getting those falcons out there. It's been very, very fun. One of Ogre's greatest weaknesses is it's clear. So as you see, it kind of gets stuck to a target, and it just sits there and chains back and forth on the target with pierces. So clearing a lot of creatures at once is a little bit tough, but since we have those falcons flying out, it's a whole extra amount of clear. Makes it so that using Shadow on the Ogre Arrow is a lot easier without having to attach it to another spell. Now, one thing I have noticed is that Shadow Archer... now, you can't proc or use a on hit skill to summon another skill out. That's why we're using Illusion Hook to get the momentum, pretty much the vulnerable effect on everything. And then it also applies the pain effect once we awaken it. So Illusion Hook is extremely powerful for that reason. And that's why I have it attached to Poison Area. But if I took Shadow Archer off and attached something like Poison Area to it or whatnot, we would get more Falcons, because for some reason, even though the Falcons say, and I don't know if this is something that developers will actually fix, but the Falcon Hunter says on movement it'll fly out, and then over here it says 20% chance to gain Falcon Hunter effect upon attack, which I first thought just attack would be, hey, only when you're using an attack skill, right? Not really a spell skill, because they're both labeled different. But no, if you have a spell, even just this one, this doesn't have the. It will, as you see, it summons out the Falcons. So any spell that you have going out will actually do this as well, which is pretty crazy. And that makes it so that if you have your Ogre arrow attached to a spell, you're actually going to shoot out even more Falcons. Though I don't know how powerful the Falcons are going to be towards the end of the game, so we'll just have to see. So far, it's been really powerful, been really fun to use, but we'll see. And that's pretty much the main build. Let me go over some of the stuff that people might be interested in. This is the kind of weapon I tried to make. Not really the best. The projectile speed is not intended. It's just what we got. And having that gear crit, attack damage, and attack damage, those are my main things. So whenever you're trying to craft a bow, if you're going to crit like I am right now, gear crit, attack damage, and attack damage, first three that I want. After that, choose the next two prefixes you want. You can go for like an elemental amp or an additional damage. And attack speed if you need it, or hit rate can be changed into all sorts of great things at the alchemy bench. So probably try to make something a little bit better than what I'm using here, but this will kind of get you started. And then as for the quiver, we're all going for Leos in the end, which let's show you Leos. So eventually you're trying to get this, because it's just absolutely absurd what you're getting. It's getting the Shadow Strike effect. You're doing extra damage as Chaos. You get extra Pierce count. So this is absolutely absurd. This is the end goal. But in the meantime, just kind of throw on whatever you can. You could even craft one if you needed to. I've been playing between a few different games, so I haven't been able to go all in and craft everything and get this ready yet. But this is just like if you want some basic starter gear, and you can get this out of the box from the event, along with this from the Pirates. This seems to drop quite often early game, and this seems to be not too hard to get either. So far, even the amplification movement speed boots, nice and easy to get. Nothing really too crazy. You should be able to do this. As for the charms, I'm planning on going Leo, and I'm thinking about going a little bit in Hamal for that HP amp. I really like to do that. And then finish it out with Vesper. If we can get some Castor in there or something else to help with my arrows, I will. But that's a little bit late game. And most people that are getting about that late game, you already kind of know what you want. So let's just go over the first ones you should do. I really enjoy Leo or Vesper to start with. And this is going to be based off your Lacrima. So my Lacrima actually is a Leo Lacrima. So because we have a Leo Lacrima, I'm sticking with Leo. Let's say you get a Vesper or something like that, go with the one that you have the strongest Lacrima with. So in our Lacrima, we have a bow. Not really anything too powerful. Kind of showing you like, hey, things aren't even powerful I'm using, and we're clearing pretty good content. I've been able to take the maps all the way up to just plus 10, but we just hit statue 20, and plus 10 was the max until then. Spiteful Ordemis's grips go good with this build. Eventually I'm going to craft a pair of gloves, because these stats can definitely be outdone by crafting. But in the meantime, nice and easy, and these drop. And then at Capri's Heart, I consider this one of the best necks in the game. This goes for pretty much every build. And the reason why I threw it in Lacrima is, hey, item drop rarity, didn't really need it. And all of the stats on it actually will go in the Lacrima, which is rare. Because as you see, there's stats that aren't going to go. And then that allows us to wear our Transcendent Surging Knowledge neck. And you can put whichever one in Lacrima you want, because this one, almost all the stats go in as well. But this has 75% bonus damage, so figured I'd wear this one. Back to charms. We're crit build for now, so crit rate, crit damage. We're in hardcore. I figured the HP would help out for a little bit. Crit, HP maximized. This helps me get to my max crit rate. In the build, just a real quick reminder of how Falcons work. Falcons go off of your main stat or your main the main damage you're doing. So these damage bonuses on your charms are actually a lot better than they've ever been. They help a lot. They actually significantly increased how much my Falcons were doing when I added a few damage things to it. Crit rate, mana, and critical damage really don't need mana in this, so I might switch that out at one point. Let's go ahead and show you guys the charm. Charm slot upgrades. I like to go with blessing effect first, the all option with the magic, and I also like to grab that rare one. And then these are the legendaries I usually level up for most of my builds anyway. I like to do the crit option, prefix, and the prefix suffix. You could maximize this a lot better with more that we're going to add here, but these just are overall really easy to use. You don't have to really think too hard about it. Don't have anything set up for this yet. We just got statue 20, so we'll be doing that boss soon. Made it Chaos Stars tier 6. Nothing too crazy. So those are charms. And the last part of the build is the relics. I'm not sure on my relics yet. This is something I'm still testing. So when you're leveling, I'd probably do the HP one. And then when you get to the end here, it's kind of difficult to get overpower on this build for me. I was having a hard time, so this is where we're getting our overpower from. But not just that, when you get overpower from this relic, it is at a magnitude way higher than a normal overpower would ever be. So far this has been really powerful. I feel like this overpower effect helps the Falcons a lot more than anything else I've used, including Seftars, which I've always been a big fan of mental stimulation, but it just wasn't doing as much damage as having overpower for now. Now, the final thing I'm doing is kind of strange, is the stun rate. I'm hoping this is going to work, but if I can get this stun rate with a few other stun rates to work, I can actually use the Spider Zodiac, and we can get that damage amplification against stunned units. And as you've seen, my bow does cold damage, so we're trying to get that from Frozen. And then eventually I'm going to try to get that damage amp from the lightning. It's just that we're a little bit far out from getting here yet. And that's kind of how I want to build, how the build works, and what we're doing so far. All right, wanted to give a quick look at gameplay. So let's get the auras on. As you see, you can use the Ogre arrow. Seems to clear pretty good. And I just boosted this map up just a bit since it's hardcore. I didn't want to be explaining everything and then get myself exploded. But you can just walk around, illusion hook, and then hop over things. It seems to do almost enough damage to kill the whole pack, which I think is a really fun kind of playstyle. Just boom, 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 boom. A couple arrows to finish off the yellows. Pretty nice. Pretty fun. So I think that's one of my favorite things while I was leveling up is you're so strong while you're going through the campaign that you can almost just kind of rely on the jump mechanic, or not really jump mechanic, but the trick shot. Hop over things, then have your Falcons fly out and just kind of kill it. Found it pretty interesting. Didn't even use Ogre arrow, just pretty much just hopping around. You throw that illusion hook out, it throws out the poison area. You get the amp effects from illusion hook. You get the dampening effects on the creatures with illusion hook, and then immediately hop over them and just start shooting back at them. And you can even hop a few times if it's really strong. Just want to show kind of the basic gameplay. Pretty nice. I enjoy it. So here's the new mechanic for the season. You burn your cards. You get those ash cards I was showing you. And then right after getting your ash cards, you can walk up and you'll have these shattered remains, and you have these developers that are kind of following you around. They say things. It's just, see, what should I develop next? Just kind of some goofy stuff. But you open that up, you get to fight some creatures. So you're literally getting the extra creatures on your map, which makes it really nice. I like it when devs decide, hey, we're going to add new content, but that new content's not going to be just like, oh, a bunch of traps to run through or a new boss or something. You're actually getting a bunch of new mobs added to your map, so you have extra stuff to do. Pretty cool. Kind of gives incentive to grab that developer ash a little bit more often.